All right.
Hey, we're here. So welcome to another Q&A with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way.
And Alan sat down right when the show started. So I appreciate his hustle.
As much as I can hustle now at this age. Hold on, and I dropped my ink pen, so hang on.
Like you're going to write anything.
You always ask me the topics, so I write them down.
Oh, okay, great. So anyway, thank you so much for everyone for watching. We're going to have a really fun show today. I think both Alan and I are in a really feisty mood, so who knows what's going to happen.
You know what? Yeah.
So
a lot going on. And Marshall, there's stuff going on that I'm not going to talk about on camera that I meant to mention to you and see what you heard. So it's just a different time.
There's a lot going on. So like S&S said that Alpha Broder's no longer be printing shirts. You got MHM, looks like they're going out of business. There's a lot going on in our industry.
Well, and that's the thing, MHM, do we know that they've done this before? And we'll talk about all that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like they don't call me up, with the German accent and go, here's really field Marshal. They don't ever do that, right?
Well,
so I don't really know, right?
The paperwork I saw, it's called insolvency, but it's different in Europe than it is here, because I know they've done this before over their time. So,
yeah. Well,
who knows?
So I don't know. I like MHM presses. I like that whole company. I like John Potter. I like those people, right? I think they've got great equipment, and I know it works. I've been to tons of shops that run MHM equipment, right? And so I hope they figure it out. I mean, to me, it's a big tent, and I want everybody to have fun and play.
Yep, absolutely. You know what? And we want people, successful equipment companies and successful are good for the industry, and that's what we want.
Well, we live in a challenging time. It's just
worldwide. Yeah.
Like what's going on? There's a lot of uncertainty, and I don't know. Hey, John Boderoff's here. I said he was in Indy last week.
In Richmond, from Richmond, Indiana. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, good meeting you the other day. So thanks.
Black dog.
Yeah. Hope the foot is better. He's talking to you, pal.
Oh, I'm doing well, John. Thank you very much. I was thinking on there. So those of you who don't know, we might as well tell everybody. I was at Indy for one night. I came down with, I didn't know if I broke my foot or whatever, where I basically could not walk. I was literally using my suitcase rollaway in the hotel room as a walker crutch. I ended up going home, and I'm way better now. I did not break it. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
I hate aging, but thank you very much, John. I appreciate it.
I was teasing Alan that the reason he hurt his foot because he was kicking so much ass.
I was. You're just kicking ass so much, and I got to use the other foot. But that's not it. So I do appreciate it, John.
Right.
Yeah, I'm doing better. Doing good. Was out of town all this week. Just got home late last night. On the 7-hour drive. And John, that coming up 69 through Indiana, right before Fort Wayne, there was a major traffic accident. Sat on the freeway 3 hours. So much fun.
Yeah. What were you doing for 3 hours, Alan?
On my phone, talking to people.
Yeah.
Talked to Ray Greenwood for a while.
I didn't get a call.
Talk to some. You're always busy.
I am a busy person. So.
Yeah. Talked to a couple customers, but yeah.
Yeah. Good.
So.
Good. So, anyways, your foot's better now. Let's just clear that up.
It's like a plantar fasciitis thing, which I've never heard of, and all I've heard is it's beyond.
Do you have like a Dr. Scholl's insert thing now, or what's going on?
I bought brand new shoes, and they came that Sunday, and I put them on and felt great. Immediately ordered another pair.
What kind of shoes did you get?
Brooks.
So let me tell you, like last year,
they're called.
I bought some Hokas, right? And I've always had foot and ankle problems for like
Yep.
the longest time. And these are the best shoes I've ever bought.
I had Hoka's about 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Another great brand I heard of. I heard Hoka's, I heard Brooks and stuff. And it's not about art sports, just support, and felt good. So I just ordered another pair. They came in while I was gone. I haven't even opened it.
Yeah, Brooks is a U.S. shoe.
Good. Even better then. So,
yeah, right.
But yeah, so it's that. So, working through it, it's just part of getting old.
Yeah. Great.
Part of getting old and living with an autoimmune. So
let's say hi to some folks. Richard's here as usual. Hey, Richard. John, we talked to him. Charles is here. Hey, fellas.
New Mexico.
Peter's here. Hey, strangers. Pete and Val. Hey. Port Huron, Michigan.
Peter, been a while, man. How have you guys been? I know last I saw you were down in Central America doing some humanity work, and that's been a while. So what's been going on? I thought about you. I was actually up in your neck of the woods a couple of weeks ago. I had some appointment in Fort Gratiot and up in Lexington. So yeah, cool.
Where is Port Huron?
Michigan. It'd be right here. Right here.
Okay.
So there's Lake Huron, Lake St. Clair River. It's right across from Sarnia, Canada.
Okay.
It's about an hour from my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Sean's here. Welcome to Q4. Hey, thanks, Sean. Welcome to Q4.
That's right. We are in Q4. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll make it a good one.
We need to. Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah. All right. Hey, well.
You guys all right in Alpharetta, Georgia and stuff?
Do you feel like starting the show, or what do you think?
Yeah, let's go. Let's just talk.
Well, that's all we do, right? So first off, let's acknowledge the storm in the room, hurricanes.
Yeah.
And so first off, I want to just
hurricanes.
Yeah. So we've had two major storms, and there's another one brewing the Caribbean right now, supposedly. Yeah. So I'm from Florida. I've been through hurricanes, so I have a lot of empathy and a lot of sincere appreciation for the disruptive nature. Even if your business or your home was untouched, everything is just disrupted, right? Yeah. It's because you have to take days off or whatever, and there's this uncertainty with orders and supply chain and whatever. So even if nothing happened to your business, there's a lot of stuff that was disrupted because of this, right? And so I think we have to acknowledge that. And this actually has a cascading effect for air travel and UPS and FedEx and supply chain and all. Just it's far reaching. The tentacles of this stuff go out, right? Yeah. And so let me tell you, and if you're watching this show and you've been affected, please drop a comment or something. We would love to help. I know tons of people who have offered to help businesses that have had some sort of problem. They could print or embroider or whatever your orders for you, so you can keep moving. You might not have electricity, so it's important that we keep the engine humming. And so I just want to kind of throw that out there. I don't know if anybody's listening that's affected that way. If you do have a challenge or whatever, I would love to help you. Schedule a call with me.
Okay, we just lost Marshall. But can you guys hear me still? I think. Tell me yes. So what he was saying, if you have a problem, let us know.
That was the wrong button.
Marshall's back, but let us know. We know people that can help. And so I was just continuing what you were saying.
Yeah. So anyway, here's my
email address. Stuck in Arizona by the hurricane out of the Caribbean. It changed course.
Yeah. So here's my email address. If you've been affected or know somebody's been affected by it, I'm there for you. Would love to help you. I won't charge you. I want you to recover, and I'm happy to do it.
Pop mine up there also. And
yeah, where's yours?
I don't know. It's just right there. Yeah. Let us know. Between us, we know all kinds of people. So
we've got some peeps, right? So
we know a few.
Yeah. So anyway, so getting back to hurricanes, this begs the question, and maybe you live in the middle of Iowa, right? Or wherever, right? Are you prepared for a problem? This could be a fire. This could be a tornado. This could be your number one key client. That's 40% of your business going bankrupt and out of business. There's stuff that happens all the time with businesses that cause a major problem. Okay. So I just want to throw that out there. Are you prepared for that? Right. And if we think back to COVID, that beginning in March, when everybody was that year was looking like it was going to be such an awesome year.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened and the world stopped. And I personally know like a half dozen shops that went out of business. They're no longer in business because of COVID. My income dried up to nothing. I mean, everything was affected by that, right? So are you prepared for this, right? And luckily I had resources, right? But not everybody does.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw that out there. When's the last time you talked to your insurance agent? Do you have 6 months of cash in the bank? Do you have stocks that you could sell? Do you have your server and all that backed up in the cloud? So if something happens to your building, you don't lose all of your information, right? Are you prepared as you think you need to be? What happens if something happens? Do you have all of your staff and all of your suppliers? Do you have a contact list that's not in your office, right? That you can access from your kitchen or a hotel room
or wherever,
right? And do you have good relationships with your creditors? Are you underwater with credit cards and that's going to sink you? I mean, what's going on with your business, right? I think right now is a really good time to talk about that because this is what happens. You can't predict this stuff. Then all of a sudden it's here punching you right in the face.
And Marshall, we live in such an uncertain time and life is just like that. Whether it is, like you said, it could be just a business thing where all of a sudden you lose two of your biggest or one of your biggest accounts and now you're down 50%.
Yeah.
It could be just not even a natural disaster, but a fire, anything that goes on. Not to mention we've been through pandemics, we've been through natural disasters. There are medical emergencies. There are things like that. And there are downturns in the economy. Are we prepared? And we have, those that are prepared come through it.
Yeah, I helped a shop in New York once. It was Sanmar reached out to me to help this person. And so the owner of a shop who was doing really well, actually, had a heart attack and dropped dead in his kitchen.
Yep.
And his wife was trying to make the decision about, do I sell the business? Do I keep it operating or whatever? And she didn't know anything. So I flew in to kind of help her out. And this was probably the most unorganized shop I've ever been in. Right. Yeah. And he had orders in the system with just somebody's first name. It's like Bill, right? That's it, Bill.
Yeah.
And it wasn't paid. And it was for like $3,000. Right. And how is this woman ever going to find out who Bill is?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And of course, the order was already picked up and everything. Right. She had, I don't know, almost $200,000 past 30 days in AR. Right.
Yeah.
It was a mess. Okay. So anyway, like, what if that was you?
Yep.
Right. And a lot of people that watch the show are business owners. What's going to happen if something happens to you? Right. And we don't, like, my father passed away in a car wreck. Right. And let me tell you, he was super prepared, had everything organized. It was like mom was set. Okay. So it's just like, what can happen? We don't know. Right. We don't know when stuff happens. Right. And so I think that kind of like begs the question about how prepared we are. And like, personally, I think I could do a better job. right? I don't think I'm as prepared as I need to be. So maybe I need to do something this weekend.
Well, I was thinking too, going, where am I prepared at? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, wait, not so much there, and I probably need to.
Yeah.
And then from the other side of that, Marshall, unfortunately, we talked about this during COVID, that, anytime there's economic downturns, anytime there's, problems like that, there is at the bottom of that trough, when you get to the bottom, there are opportunities if you're prepared.
Yeah.
For resources, for customers, for product and stuff.
Yeah,
so
right.
Yeah.
So got some more people joining the call. So Ray's here. Hey, Ray.
Hey, Ray. It's good talking to you, Ray.
Hey, Cindy.
Cindy, how you doing?
And Peter says, still doing shirts. He goes back to El Salvador in January. I was asked to assemble a team to go in April for Michigan. It will be the first for Michigan. It is for Shelter Canada.
So Pete, while her company is in Michigan, his wife is from Michigan. Pete is from Canada. And it's just over the border, just a bridge across the river. So that is awesome, Pete. Man, incredible. So
yeah, his image photo there, he looks really young.
He's lost some weight. El Salvador will do that in the jungle. So yeah.
Joe says 10 years ago he wasn't prepared. He lost 2/3 of his business, and it happened, right?
Yep.
And,
happens all the time. And sometimes hard decisions have to be made. And the hardest one is when there's medical emergency that comes up. One of our friends, and I'm not going to say his name, but there's an economic downturn, there's a change in industry, and then his son has cancer. And
things happen, right? So I just wanted to because of the hurricane thing, I just want to throw that out there, just a reminder, just to put a bug in your ear. Maybe you should look at something, right? Get a little better prepared than you were yesterday, right? That's my intent with this conversation. So
and up here in the north,
hopefully you take it as just some little bit of advice.
Yeah. And up here in the north, it could be, okay, there was 20 feet of snow and electricity's out, and stuff like that happens. Or when the snow melts, there's flooding, and there's always, no matter what area you live in, there's things that could happen.
Yeah.
And,
all right.
Marshall could get sunstroke. I don't know.
I could.
I mean,
it's hard to get that inside my office, though.
True. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Frank's here. Hey, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
So, all right. Next up, last week I was in Indianapolis, and I have some thoughts on that show. It was the whole Graphics Pro series. They're smaller shows. They're not gigantic things, right? And it's more of a regional show than anything, right? And I don't know the state of the industry, and there were some suppliers there. There were some people that were missing. My thoughts on it go to more that were the people that are there.
Yeah.
I went to some networking things, and I met a lot of really great people. I had some good attendance I taught 2 classes and had a really good turnout for both classes. So I personally, I thought it wasn't the best show I've ever been to, but it was really good. And I think the people who went to the show were there to find some things, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And they discovered what they wanted, because I had conversations with them about why they were there. They drove a couple hours to get there. A couple, the people that I was talking with, it was good to see people. It was good to meet some folks. The fun thing for me when I go to these shows is a lot of people feel like they know me, and because they've been listening to me or reading my stuff or whatever for the last couple of years, and that's always fun to make that connection. This month, to Graphics Pro magazine I have an article in that magazine, but I also have the cover. I did the cover for the magazine, and of course, it's all about Midjourney. So there was a lot of discussion about that and all that, right?
Sure.
So I know John went to the show. I don't know if other people who were on the call went, but it was a decent thing, But my take on trade shows, I think, is I think this industry needs them. I think and I don't, and I'm really worried about the state of trade shows.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know if we need them all over everywhere, or we need to refine how we do them, or, maybe it just needs to be more education focused with less equipment. I don't know what makes it profitable to have the show, but also good for vendors to show up with their wares.
Right.
Like, so is it better to bring the equipment, or can you just bring a video screen and talk about the equipment? Right. I don't know. Right. So
I don't need.
So I just think it's an interesting time we're in. Personally, I believe the industry needs education. We have more people than ever coming into our industry, and they lack fundamentals. I see it all the time when I talk to these people and ask them questions, and they can't answer, right? They just don't know, and they're doing their level best, and I'm happy to help them. But I think the industry needs to provide the education. And is it through a magazine? Is it through something like Shirt Lab? Is it through online? Whatever. Is it shows like this? Whatever. I think we need to do a better job of educating the industry, which is, this is why I show up. That's why I'm doing it, right? So, what do you think, Alan?
Well, I agree with you 100% on there that, it is all about the education. You and I have had conversations with multiple show people going, come on, we can't do things different. And education is so important, and not just any education, good education. A lot on the fundamentals, on building your business, on sales and marketing. So it can't just be, I think people are tired of being sold in education. And that's really been a downturn. And, there's been a walk away from it at trade shows. So I think it needs a revamping, which is fine, but it is so important.
Yeah. So
I'm also on the consumer side too. I'm still, and it's always been an issue, but even more now, that when there are shows in the area that people that are like right in their backyard. Now, like John was at Indy, and Richmond, where he's from, is maybe an hour and a half from Indy. He goes, it's right there in his backyard. So he's, of course, knowing John, he's going, why wouldn't I go? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there are people right in Indianapolis that would not take a few hours to go, and that still baffles me.
Yeah. Well, I had people come to my classes that were just astounded that they didn't know the stuff that I was talking about.
Yeah.
They're just like, where has this been? I'm like, well, it's not new. It's not a secret. It's like, I'm just giving you the information, right?
Yeah.
But I think that, I think we need stuff like that. And so, John, I would love to know what you thought of the show. Just throw a comment in there. But also for everybody that's on today, could you drop a comment about what you think the show should be, and why do you go to a show? And then if you had a magic wand, what would you want, or something like that, right? What would be the reason why you would go to one of these things, right? And I know from talking with tons of people that most shop owners go once every about 3 years. Hardly anybody goes every year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But most people go once every 3 years or so, because our industry really doesn't change that quickly. Right. And then you can find a lot of this information online. You know, the newest ink, the newest piece of equipment, the newest shirt, all that's online. You don't have to take a trip to go see it.
And unless you're really looking for that piece of equipment, it's like, okay, I'm not going to spend $1,000 or whatever to go.
Yeah, but you can go to your distributor showroom. You can you don't have to fly across country.
100%.
And frankly, a lot of there's people who have the newest whatever, and you could just go to some shop, and the salesperson won't even know that you're doing that. You're checking it out, right? It doesn't take much for, a lot of shop owners know a lot of other shop owners and know what they're doing, and then they could find out on their own about things, right? And I think we have a really good community for that, and a lot of people are willing to share that stuff. Not everybody, but a lot of people are, right? So
I know on our equipment, could we bring them up to Blue Water and show them the machine? Absolutely. We'd rather him go into a shop, say, here, go to this guy's shop, and we do. We just did an install this week, or I didn't do the install, but I was at the install in a new Blue Water in Cincinnati, Ohio. They're loving it. The guy said, anybody wants to come see this, just let me know.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So, yeah.
So thanks, Ray. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire now.
And actually, you're not. That's the ring light reflecting on you.
I don't know what's going on with my light.
Yeah, no. Marshall's actually pretty tan.
I don't know if you noticed, Down, but I have a new camera. So
I know you said that.
I can control stuff now with my camera.
Yeah.
So I just haven't played with it yet. So,
right.
Dan's here. Good seeing you, Dan. Ray also says, I think education is still good anytime, but I believe that the education segment should be moved to a symposium model and skip the small trade shows, make those for equipment. The large shows could have both. Well, I think everybody wants education. And so to me, people go for three reasons. They go because they want to network with their tribe, with their community. They want to meet other people that do the same thing. They want to get educated. They want their printer to take a class on how to print, or stuff like that, right? How to embroider. There's a class, and then or how to do things, and then there's also equipment and new shirts and inks and all that stuff. So there's a lot of touching and feeling that has to go on, right? It's like the journey song, right? So, but a good point, right? And Alex says, "What's up?"
Hey, Alex, out of Kansas City.
Also, it's been a long past time that the large shows are every other year. I wouldn't mind that.
I think that,
I wouldn't mind that. What if Printing United was every other year? Every odd year was Printing United. I think that
it used to be FESPA was every other year. Drupa was every 5 or something like that. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
And that would have been in Printing United. If it went every other year, it'd be incredible. Even some of the bigger shows, but yeah.
Here you go. Here's a softball question for you. I'll let you answer it. Is the Blue Water the best auto reclaim right now?
Well, considering my bosses are probably watching this, and sometimes they'll say that, 100% yes. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of them out there, Alex. It's a great question.
And Brian says the best salesman was seeing the Blue Water in a shop.
100%. We have a lot out there now. I think it's might be almost 100 in between there. Don't quote me on that. Every install's gone flawless. We have machines just for every shop. Some people worried that these are all, plastic, polypro, are on there, and they're going, is this, they get weird about that. That's not stainless steel. They said, what if it works like your washout booth? So
Alex wants to know why it's better than the rest.
So why is it better than the rest? 1, ours flat out works. 2, it's American made. 3, 2-year warranty to start with. But we go a proven technology where we can actually use less chemical and get a better result. We do start with a dip tank technology where the screens are dipped. Regardless of what you think of dip tanks, they work. And your first chamber now is not using the most expensive chemistry out there. You know, it's whether it be 701 or a screen wash. Your first chamber is almost in a standard machine, almost 3,000 psi of high pressure water, and it's removing all ink and emulsion. So then the next chamber is your chemical, which is cut 50-50 with water. And now it's not being used and going down the drain. It is recirculating, and you're hitting the screen and all free mesh, and it's destaining, degreasing, and getting all that stuff. Goes back to a 3,000 psi of water. Then there's flood rinse and then air drying. And because of that, our chemical costs are real good. And a lot of people
how many an hour, Alan?
Well, it depends on the size of the machine. So the compact, which is smaller, can do 100 screens a shift on there, and that's the only machine out there that can be in single phase. The RS 2336 or 2536S, the small one, will do over 200 screens a shift, and then the large one can do all the way up to 400 screens a shift. Good. So, and then we have made them bigger. Like there's a machine in California that's been made, and they are doing almost 1,000 screens a shift. So, yeah.
So Ray has a great comment. He always thought a dip tank is where you kept the crappy employees and politicians.
That's where they kept Jesse at.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, Alex, that's the thing. So depending on what it is, and then we don't skimp. A lot of machines, like some of the European ones, they tend to go, and I understand why. In some countries and stuff, there are water restrictions, and we're looking at this. They tend to go, the model was that inline model of chemistry first, and then pressure and stuff. We also, in between each chamber to prevent drag through, where chemistry and water can be dragged through and you're wasting. We do have air knives that keep that separate, which I'm surprised a lot of people don't. And so, yeah. But some of the machines they skimp on pressure. We like to go high pressure. We have real good size motors and pressure washers on it. So, yeah, it's a great machine. I recommend, Alex, of course, call me if you want, email me. Love to talk to you about it. You want to see one? Love sending people in to see one because that's the best way.
Charles says he got an email today from Lawson about a new auto reclaim that's designed for small shops.
Okay.
I guess they're competing with you, right? That's good.
They can try, but okay.
Dan says he'd like to see short 1-hour training sessions similar to the how-to SEP training class that Shirt Lab did that explains how to best use the supplier's product. A lot of people get their chemicals, for example, misuse them, and they don't feel they don't work correctly as advertised, but they don't know what they're doing wrong. How to wash out a screen, how to code a screen example, how to print sim process on site at the show on an auto. This will be good for the press manufacturers.
Yes.
So I agree. That would be great, right? And a lot of the I know people like GSG and other ones, NASDAR, they do that in their distributor locations. That's not uncommon, right? They just don't do that at the show because it's hard to bring all that stuff, right? So
exactly.
And of course, Made Labs does that with all of their stuff in Fort Worth. All right, and hey, Scott's here. Look at that.
Hey, Scott, how you doing?
Hey, how'd you fare with the hurricane, pal?
Exactly. Scott's in Okeechobee, if everybody needs to know. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So. Hey, back to Charles's deal on here. I heard they were making one. I said that a little defensively. I don't know what their machine looked like. I heard that email went out. It just depends. There's a lot of variations of a machine. So I think it's about, I think when you're looking at an automated machine, I can say, here's why Blue Water's the best, I think. But you've got to look, and there's a lot of questions I start with of, what are you looking to do? What is your space? What are your water? Where are your future growths? There's a lot more of it than just, I want to get a machine.
Yeah, right. So Brian has the Blue Water, and he says, what I like best is that they started with the chemistry and then made a machine around it.
Well, that is true, but we started with the process, and I think while Blue Water and Easy Way, they have some connection. They are separate companies, and there are people that have run Blue Waters without Easy Way chemical in them. I don't know why, but
Doesn't that bother you?
it's been none of my clients. But you can't. I think the philosophy is nobody wants to be roped into a thing. There have been machine manufacturers that make chemicals, and your warranty is compared to, you buy stuff from us.
Yeah,
Your
right.
services, and I know Blue Water did not want that.
Yeah.
So that's why, and I hate that stuff because I've watched.
Well, do you get like a family discount or something if you keep it all in the same environment?
Not really. I mean, that because we sell so much through dealers on chemistry. That's usually up to the dealer what to do. But it is nice. Sometimes we'll run specials, and the dealer will say, "We'll just put chemical in for free to start with," and stuff like that. I like to be on site during the installs, which is nice when you have a chemical guy. Our technicians, they were there. I came in. We did the ratios on the chemistry. And, it's so nice because you always on that first screen coming out, you're going, okay, what adjustments? What is it? And it came out perfect. And I took a picture and I just sent it to my boss and just said, boom. So we're finding that more and more.
Can I tell my story about reclaim chemistry?
Go ahead.
So, a while ago now, right? So we bought not a Blue Water; it was another machine.
Blue Water wasn't even around then.
Yeah, and I did a whole study about stuff and whatever, and Alan's talked about that before. But so we had a guy who didn't speak English running the machine, right? And for some reason it was working great, and for some reason he just started at the reservoir in the tank was low, and he just started adding water. Okay, so what do you think happens? His goal was to keep it at a certain level, but what do you think happens to the performance of the machine? It goes right out the window, right?
Yeah.
And of course, that's when everybody's talking about this machine doesn't work and blah 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 and whatever. And of course, we weren't managing him well. It was our leadership team's fault because we didn't stress enough and have a proper process about how to mix the chemicals. And so we developed that, which was to take a 5-gallon bucket empty and then mix everything into that at the proper ratios, and then put that into the tank with all the stuff, right? And then that got us back up to speed. But let me tell you what a nightmare scenario that was for a long time. We called in people, and people flew in because we were doing 350 screens a day that weren't being cleaned, right? So it was a giant problem. And of course, I didn't want to blame the machine, right? But that's staring you in the face that it doesn't work. And so that's what we did, right? And it turns out that it was our fault, right? And so if you get one of these things, it's really important that you properly run it, right? And clean the pumps and do the things that you got to do. But what we did, because we had non-English speaking people running the machine, is we did a pictogram thing with buckets showing how many at what level, whatever, this plus this plus this, whatever goes into the bucket. And then that way everybody could understand it, and we had zero issues after that.
100%.
Right? And that was laminated and taped to the machine so you couldn't lose it.
Well, one of my things I got to do is like the ratios and stuff. I've got to email them to the customer and all that. Say, here they are. Let's get them, because he wants SOPs like that for everybody.
Is it always the same, Alan?
A lot of times it is.
Why not just provide that when you have it as an already laminated thing?
Because we did that. As soon as we did that, it would not be the same then. Because it's just
well, maybe there's a template where it's this plus this plus this, and you write in what the thing is.
And I mean, the normal is it's like 1 to 10 in the dip tank with Supra, and then on the chemistry side, it's 50-50 with water. Yeah. But it's just a matter of, okay, how many screens are going per day? What are the levels that it's dropping? What do you do the ratios to, top it off with and stuff?
Yeah.
All right. I think with all machines, Marshall, too, and you made a great point. And I said this to the client during training, and the technician that we had, this is about his 6th machine. He's from Minnesota. I hadn't met him yet. Did great. Ryan, it's his name. He did a great job.
He did a great job, eh?
Hey, he did. Well, hey, that's where Easy Way and Blue Water's at in Minnesota up there. Hater order all the way up there by their side by each. But one thing I tell clients, and this goes whether it's a Blue Water or an M&R, a Lotus Holland, a Grunig, an Empro, whatever. You have to remember is machines don't have eyes. They just do what they do. And if you're leaving a gallon of ink on there, you're going to have an issue. That's not the machine's fault. That's not the chemical fault. You're going to have issues. If you leave tape on there and it comes off in the machine and gets into your pumps, you're going to have issues. If you are not adjusting your chemical and keeping it filled up, you're going to have issues. And that is not, so there is, responsibility. You just made a capital purchase. Let's make sure it's done right. Make sure you're doing the maintenance and the cleaning of them. So, yeah.
Yeah. So Dean's got a great comment here. Missing product and then getting mad that it didn't work is a huge hurdle in having a consumable business. We actually reached out to Made Lab for their third-party testing results as well. It comes down to end-user knowledge and their ability and desire to learn what is being told. How to best staple that info to their mind is a real battle. Use a real stapler, right? Like on the forehead. But once it connects, you have some sort of customer loyalty, right? Good comment there, Dean. All right, so where are we? So
and it is nice when new equipment, when things out there, people can see it. They can go in, they can talk to the person. I now have in my area, I think 10 in my area in 4 different states, and so that makes it real nice.
Yeah. So our next discussion little topic here is about working with intent.
100%.
And I think a lot of times we don't achieve what we want to achieve today or this week or whatever because we get sidetracked with stuff. Stuff pops up on a radar, and a lot of times it's this little bitty little thing. It's just constant. You can get, just little stuff that just eats all your time away. Have you ever had one of those days where at the end of the day you're really super busy but didn't do anything?
Yep. Hate it.
So why did that happen, right? And so today I thought it'd be kind of an interesting discussion to talk about being more intentful with your time. And then this could be about how you're working and what you're doing, but it also could be the types of customers you have, the type of orders you're taking, the type of, what are you trying to achieve, both in a top line revenue, but better in a bottom line net profit scenario, right? So if you work with more intent and you're going after things that are going to really move the needle for you, I think you'll find is that you have better results because it's not just what shows up because it shows up.
Mm-hmm.
It's we're working with intent and trying to get somewhere, and we're tracking that and keeping tabs on that, and we're working on processes for that, and we're doing what we need to do to be able to get to the result that we want, whatever that is. And it could be on you set up times for production. It could be how you're doing sales. It could be a million different things, right?
Yep.
So what do you think about this, Mr. Howe, right? Like in your experience, like how do you work with intent, or how maybe you've advised people to work with intent? Give us your wisdom here.
Well, again, because my bosses could be listening, I work with intent every day intentionally. I wish I could say I did, but Marshall, you and I were talking about this. I just was having
butterfly.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Wait, hold on. I'll be back to you. The good Gilligan's Island is on TV. Sometimes we just all get busy, like you said, and we're busy being busy.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation, and I got to pick it up after the show with her. We have a sales coordinator lady that helps us out, does a lot of research, and we were just talking about a group of clients that sometimes are just brutal to get into. Like, I have names, I have companies, but it's not like you can call, a switchboard anymore or a receptionist going, who would be in charge? Who there? When you don't know, it is there. It's a lot of searching on LinkedIn and then getting them to respond. So we are setting up, her and I were talking about setting up a thing where she is researching to get into these largest customers where I can get in there and get in front of them.
Is that your VA you're doing that with?
No, this will be Nicole up in Minnesota at Easy Way.
Right.
So my VA I use for personal stuff and outside. Now she does put together some database for me and stuff, but this is with Nicole, and she works for Easy Way, and she's doing great. She's in charge of our CRM, and it's real powerful. So we're learning more to really rely on her. And so her and I were just talking about this and just intentionally going, instead of these, and Marshall, you've been there. It is a list of 5 companies on my whiteboard, and I've had success with a couple, but we need to be intentional and more and get it done faster. And so we were putting together, and to me, that's intent. Let's get a plan and let's intentionally be working on them, because those are things that we call not just sales. They just don't shake the needle. These are accounts that can move the needle. And they're difficult. They're hard. Once I'm in there, I have fun with them. I love them. But it is just a tougher industry. It's not in the textile side. So we are working on that. And, you've got to sometimes just, okay, here it is. What I have on my whiteboard, is that intentional? Kind of. It's more of a concept. And now we've got to bring it down with intent.
So a couple things that have helped me over the years is time blocking.
Yep.
I block off time for things, for research, for writing, for calls, for making a presentation, whatever. I'm blocking that. This is just me working, And then the things that I don't need to be touching, I'm delegating that stuff off to my VA team, right? And that keeps me focused on the things that personally I either A, like doing, or B, am really good at, or C, nobody else could do it because it needs to come from here, right? So, and that helps with that, right? And then I can focus my time on the things that matter most to me and my business, right?
Right.
So if you're watching this, right, what is getting in the way of you doing the things that are going to be the most, the best return on your time? Right.
And I think, Marshall, that's a great point, because for me, sometimes I'm so used to doing everything myself. It's like when I got a VA, and can I tell the story about how I got that when you yelled at me? So, Marshall and I were talking, it's after a show. I said, yeah, I gotta, so believe me, I get free coaching, but it's friends. It's more of like, are you an idiot?
Yeah. So it comes with the, what the hell are you doing? Kind of.
Exactly. So don't think we just dole the stuff out and let each other pass on it. I mean, I've looked at him going, are you insane?
Well, Alan's my friend and I want the best for him.
But anyways, I'm going, I need to look at this program and stuff. And he just kind of goes, do you have a fever? What is wrong with you? He goes, what? Just get a VA. He goes, Alan, your time is more better spent than learning that. Can you do it? Yeah. Should you do it? Maybe, but why? And so I did.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like that. So like with intent of having people, so like when I'm researching and trying to find contacts and getting in the door in these companies, thank you, Davis. It probably from the same person. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, definitely from the same person.
Definitely from the same person. So but you pay him to do that to you. I don't. I get it. Anyways, but sometimes we got to get out of our own way and going, what can I hand this off to? Can I make these calls? Yes. I do a lot when I'm driving. I love drive time because I can make calls. And I probably, if we've ever talked, half the time I'm in my car.
So think about this, Alan. You get a lot done when you're in a car driving, but when you're not in the car driving, you don't get a lot done, right? So do you just like get in your car and drive around the neighborhood to make calls? How come you just can't make
I
calls?
drive around the block.
How come you can't just make calls from your desk?
I drive. No. I'm talking. I can follow up on phone calls and stuff. When I'm here at home, I'm doing podcasts and stuff, and then I'm, a lot of times it's setting appointments and stuff. I got, on my CRM, I can do some stuff from my phone. I'm not a guy. A lot of people, it's real weird. I do not like to work in my hotel room. I will go to a coffee shop. I will do that on my laptop.
You know what I like to do is I like to go down into the lobby of the hotel, work in the breakfast area with all the people buzzing around, just because I like to hear that, right? And
exactly.
And of course, there's sitting like I was. Where was I? I was in some trade show. I forget where I was, but I went down and I was working in the thing, and I was doing the whole deal. Oh, it was Las Vegas.
Yep.
And of course, all the other vendor folks, all the supply chain staying at the same hotel. And so everybody was there, and I'm in there doing my stuff. And I was there for hours. I just saw waves and waves of people, right? And people would go and come back, and they were like, "You're still here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just sitting here working." Like they were amazed at that, right? And so anyway.
Yeah. So like when I'm here, so I'm putting stuff into the CRM. I have to get ready for next week and make sure I have those, confirmed. And
because
stuff.
You're working with intent.
Yeah. But like some of the stuff I need to do on this is where I need to utilize Nicole. And she goes, "Alan, what can I do?" And we just got talking. I got thinking about it. Okay, now we're getting a plan together.
Yeah, good.
And I got Steve, one of our other sales guys. I've been working with Steve on the exact same thing. It's like, okay. So I need to call her back today. And
right.
We have that discussion. So yeah, we've got to work. I'm better when I have things that are right in front of me going, I need to do this, I need to do this. And then sometimes when you're prospecting, we call it prospecting for new accounts, or going, I know where they are. I just need to get inside that door and get in there. That's a little tougher. That takes some time. And sometimes it's not time I always have.
Yeah. So here's an interesting point that Dean shares is about not finding reasons to be combative about if you see people not doing things the way they should, right? So I think, not everybody, but a lot of people don't understand or see how they work. It's just the way they do stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And if you give them criticism, that's when the defensive force field comes up and they're not listening anymore, right? So an easy way to go around that is to ask questions like, hey, help me understand why you do it that way. What's going on with that? And that might be a way that you can get that conversation going and suggest a different way of doing it. Right? So,
yeah.
And he says he likes to paint the end goal as a collaborative intent. I love that. Leave your personal feelings out of it, which is hard.
Mm-hmm.
As long as boundaries or lines are not crossed, it gets hard if the communication breaks or is misunderstood. So here again, what is the expectation? How long should something take? What are the steps necessary? What does success look like? What is the end goal that we want, right? If everybody has clarity on that, it's really easy to start working that way. You may or may not get the result because who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we know where we're going, right? And I think a lot of times, especially in companies, we don't know we haven't defined success. We don't know what we want to do. Like for example, if you just tell a salesperson go out and sell, and we don't attach a goal to that, what is success? Right? And so what do you want? And so I think the more that we clarify the outcome, the better we're going to have with working with intent.
Right. And I think, Marshall, too, and we've got to work more with intent. I do, just because we're in some tougher times right now, just worldwide and stuff. So we've got to be intentional on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I realized that in doing it. And, we've got to be moving the needle. We've got to keep getting new business. We've got to keep working with you. And sometimes, no matter how seasoned and professional you are, we can get into our own head as sales guys. We're going, I just don't call on them because I have for 40 years and never have. There's an account in Indiana. Nicole and I were talking about it. My boss, Alex, and he brought it up. I said, yeah, here's where they are. Here's what they do. I could not get in there. I've never been able to get in there as a dealer. I've never been able to get in there when I was with Saudi, and I've never been able to get in there still with Easy Way.
They just don't like you, Alan.
I've never met them. Never, ever. So, I mean,
send them a clip of this show.
Give me please give me a reason for you to hate me. Let me earn that hate. But there are things. So sometimes I pass them by because you're just tired. And you know what? We can't do that. You can't pass by companies because things never stay the same.
Right.
You got to stay in touch. And, and just in slang, we got to keep grinding.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And grinding it on the biggest rocks, keep grinding at them.
Yeah. So Richard says the most dangerous distractions are the ones you love, but that don't love you back.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself scrolling through your Instagram or Facebook feed, that's not loving you back.
Yeah.
Like I took Facebook off my phone. Just doesn't exist anymore just because I found myself like hanging out, right? I'm like, I don't need that, right? It's too easy. And I like seeing what's going on Facebook. And I do what I call my drive-by, right? Like 5 or 10 minutes, I'm just seeing what's going on, and then I'm done, right?
Yeah.
And because I a lot of this industry posts stuff there, and I want to make sure I see what's going on. That's what I'm doing, and then I throw my little stuff out there sometimes, or I'll comment or something. But I don't do it often, right? Once a day, that's me, and it's at a time when it's not interrupting something. So,
yep.
Anyway, it's just a matter. What are you doing, right? All right, we got 5 minutes left.
But I think also, you got to be intentional. Whether it's a sales thing looking for customers, where it's a sales thing, you're setting up a process. It's just or is it a manufacturing thing? I'm going to redo my screen room, or I need better marketing, or what? I'm just not sure what to do. With intent, I need to set up that call with Marshall and find out how can he help me and what I do. And sometimes we just have to. Intent means just put it in front of your brain and do it.
Yeah. So we got a couple minutes left, so I want to share some things that are coming up, just so you're aware.
Yep.
What happened? Oh, why when I lost my feed.
That's right.
The thing went away. Hold on. So if you haven't already, sign up for the Inclusivity book, which is inclusivity.com. This is the book that I helped write, which is about disability inclusion. We talked about a lot of this at Printing United. We're in the final stages of getting the book laid out. Hopefully we'll have it out by the end of the month. There's no guarantees, but you can get it for free. So what do you care, right? So anyway, go here, inclusivity.com, and then there's just a name, email, whatever. And then we're going to, you'll be able to get the book as a download when we're ready. There also will be hard copies printed, and that's going to happen and be available on Amazon sometime in the future. I don't know anything about that dates yet, but I'll let you know. But anyway, get signed up for the free book. And if you struggle with getting employees and retaining employees, if this matters to you, the disabled community would love to talk to you about how they can help solve that problem for you. So disabled could mean that somebody is deaf. It could mean they're on the autism spectrum. It could be they don't have their left leg because they served in the military. Who knows? Okay. But there's tons of people out there that want to work for you. All they want is the opportunity.
Yep.
Okay. And there's disability service providers in where you live that will meet with you about whatever you do, and they will find people for you. They probably already have people who are looking for jobs, who just want an opportunity. So this book is a how-to guide about how to do that, right? And so I interviewed experts these are shop owners that are actually doing this every single day. I've been working on this book for about a year. And so now here we are. Would love for you to get signed up and get this book. I think it's going to be just an amazing, helpful guide for the industry. But it doesn't work unless people are out there reading it.
Absolutely.
So get signed up for that. The other thing I want to share is Impressions Fort Worth is in a couple weeks.
Yep.
I'm going to be in town, and I've got 2 classes. I just want to make sure you guys see this. On Friday, which is the 25th at 9:00, I'm teaching my Midjourney Power User class. That's going to be in room 121F. This is going to be an up-to-date class with some amazing tricks that you probably don't know yet. Well, and do you have to be an expert at Midjourney? No, I'm just showing you some stuff. You can take all this stuff back and play around all you want, but I'm showing you so a lot of really cool stuff. And then at 1:00, I am on a panel, this automation panel that Cole's doing. They haven't gotten me up here yet, but I'm going to be on this panel. And this is about how we can use AI in the industry. I just taught a whole class on this with Lon Winters in Indianapolis. So I'll probably be bringing some of the same ideas to this discussion. But I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and would love for you guys to take these classes. But more importantly, if you're going to the show, I want to hang out with you. Let's get a cup of coffee. Let's meet. Let's go find a quiet corner somewhere. Would love to kind of talk about whatever, right? So that's what I go. Well, that's why I go to these shows, right? And so I'm pretty easy to find. I'm gonna be in these 2 classes, but besides that, I'll be walking around, and let me tell you how easy it is to find me. I'm a head higher than everybody else, right? You can see me from across the show floor pretty easily, I think. So anyway, I just want to kind of throw that out there. And then Sean says, did Alan say he started his podcast?
I did, Sean. It's a subscription base. You haven't signed up. It's $50.59 a month. Please do.
$59.59. Is it the 59 podcast?
It might be. So yeah.
Great. Get signed up. And then Brian says his problem is Facebook doom scrolling. Yes. Quit doing
100%. Yeah.
Quit doing that. Right. That's why I took Facebook off my phone. Right.
Yep.
Don't even do it. And frankly, when I'm looking at Facebook for the 10 minutes that I'm there, I often wonder, you see the same people commenting over and over and over and over all the time. It's like, how come you're not working? Why are you posting on Facebook?
Yeah.
The people that I know, they're really super busy. They don't have time for Facebook.
Absolutely.
Right? So I always wonder why these people have all this time especially the ones that are the trolls, who there's no answer that's ever good enough for these people.
Yeah.
Right? Which is what I hate about Facebook, right? I can't stand it, right? And who give wrong answers all the time about stuff.
Yeah.
And I've learned my lesson about commenting. A lot of times I don't comment because there's going to be somebody who's going to attack me. And so I just don't even comment now. So.
Unfortunately, a sad thing, people, if you're on Facebook looking for answers, there's a reason you will not see Richard will at times, but not as much. Marshall, myself, Lon Winters, guys like that, we just don't have time for it.
Hey, Dean says, hey, it's part of some people's jobs. If it's part of your job, I understand why you're doing it, right?
But you also know the whole thing we're talking about, Dean. So.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You'll notice that I have a lot of Facebook marketing posts, and I'll tell you that's not me posting.
You might have a VA.
Yeah, that's their job, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that would be your job, Dean. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Cindy says, if I see someone that needs help in a group, sometimes I'll make a quick video. Yeah, you'll do that until you get personally attacked by a bunch of people calling you an idiot. Because that's happened to probably everybody that's on this show.
I've had it. I've been attacked personally. I've had the company I work for attacked. I've been attacked for being in sales. I've been attacked for the hotel I stay in. It's ugly. I had a guy come up to me at Fort Worth, and we were talking, and I said, "Can I help you?" And he just said, he goes, he saw a post one time, and I go, "You're here to see." He goes, "I want to see if you're the asshole that those guys said." And it was people that I didn't even know.
And they found out that it was true, right? No,
just kidding. He was talking right then. But I go, "What do you think?" He goes, "I've asked people about you." He goes, "You're pretty well respected." I go, "I try." I said, "You got to remember," I said, "it looks like a big thing." And it was a post I didn't even comment on. I was pinged in to comment on. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it was awful.
Yeah. And Dean says, yeah, he knows who you're talking about, the people out there. And then Cindy says she doesn't care. That's a great attitude to have. You know, I put stuff up there and I don't care anymore, but that's why I don't post as often as I probably would, because it's just one of these things. I don't have the emotional energy for that. So,
and you know, when you work for a company, you know, I was working for a different company then, but you know, like for EasyWay, I can't push back. I can't post things that I want to post going, "I've been to your shop. I know you're a failure. Why are you behind 120 days in your bill? Right. Oh my God, get out of the basement."
Yeah. And then you see people like giving Michelle Kaza crap because what do you know about printing?
Oh, idiots. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like more.
sorry, you know, maestro.
Yeah.
You have to put up with that, right? Do you remember that whole controversy with him last year?
Yeah.
Remember that whole thing?
Oh, unreal.
Anyway, so hey, we're over time. We got to go. I have a call coming up, so I got to jump. So thank you so much for watching our show. We really appreciate you.
We have a great guest. This is going to be about finances.
Who are we having on the show, Mr. Howe?
We have our friend, we hasn't been on a while, Dave Harding from DCA Finance. And he has some stuff him and I were talking about. You know, we hear a lot about the 179 tax credit and stuff. And Dave has just had some things on his mind going, you know, there's a lot of this broad brush stuff that's out there that might not be the right thing for people. And we're going to talk about economy and money. And he's going to bring some stuff to the table that I think is just going to be great. It's going to be different.
Yeah. So it's going to be a financial discussion instead of equipment and processes.
Great. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be great. So, hey, bring your questions. If you're thinking about buying something before the end of the year, I'm sure Dave has the answer for you.
Yep. It'll be great.
All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you later.